Good morning. It's time for Two Guys on Sports. I'm Larry Hazer.
I'm Dick Olson. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning, Dick. And, well, we're going to get into our NCAA brackets momentarily, but we've got some other stuff to talk about. A little recap of the 108th State Boys Basketball Tournament. You know, we talked about the girls' tournament being good, and the boys.
Just as good.
Yeah,
just
some
as
good games in that one.
Yeah.
And congratulations again to the Columbus Catholic Dons.
Wow. They went down there, and they showed people what we knew all along, that they are a very, very efficient three-point shooting team. So,
and when they can shoot the three,
yeah,
they're dangerous.
Yeah, they were 27 for 57 in the tournament, Larry, on threes. And then, another amazing thing I tell people, too, is they win a lot of games because they shoot free throws so well.
Yep.
They were 38 for 41 in the tournament for free throws.
Awesome.
And then, you look at the game against Solon Springs in the semifinals. That game was much more closer than that score. But Columbus made free throws all the way down the stretch.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, and they set records for most threes made in a tournament with 27.
Yeah,
and then they broke their own record.
Yeah, I said they set the record on Friday and then broke it on Saturday again.
With 14 three-pointers made in the championship game. And then you talk about the foul shooting. Emmett Konechny, 10 for 10 in that championship game. That was a record for free throw accuracy. And then best for combined teams for that game at 90%.
Yeah,
and then they set the tournament record, the Dons did, with that 38 of 41, 93% from
both
the line.
The teams they played, Larry, Solon Springs and Abundant, very good teams.
Oh, yeah.
And they both gave the Dons, they both had some height. And, of course, that's always been the Dons' kryptonite. But I guess the one thing I take from this, you look what a big circle this has been for Emmett Konechny all season. Early in the season, in a bad automobile accident, missed 9 games, came back after Christmas, and now he finishes his career with a 31-point game. And just, you couldn't write a better script than that. So.
No, Dons finished 29-2, and Emmett's hard work pays off because he and Blake Jacoby were named to the WBCA All-State team in Division 5.
Well deserved, both of them.
Yeah.
So
congratulations to those two guys.
Yep.
All right, then the other games, not to, I guess, let them slip by here, but there were some good games. Marquette led all but 50 seconds. Probably the biggest blowout in Division 1 where they beat Arrowhead.
Boy, what an athletic team Marquette has.
Yeah.
Wow. They were just – I said I noticed that Friday night right away, and then I thought that was going to be a much better game with Arrowhead. But I also think, too, Larry, Arrowhead and Neenah had played a 4-overtime game on Friday night, and I think that had to take a lot of starch out of Arrowhead.
I know it did,
yep. I mean, those games are hard. We see Nilsville play one earlier in the season, and those kids basically crawled off the court after the game. And I think to have to come back and play a state championship game the next night, that had to be very hard for Arrowhead. So,
84-62 the final in that one. Division 2 had Wisconsin Lutheran beating Pewaukee. That was the game everybody wanted to watch.
Yeah.
That one really didn't pan out the way everybody thought.
No, I thought, too, that was going to be the best game in the tournament, but Wisconsin Lutheran showed why they were undefeated on the season, and Con Knippel showed why he is Mr. Basketball in the state of Wisconsin, and, of course, he's heading to Duke next year.
Marquette, by the way, won their first state championship. Wisconsin Lutheran won their third state championship and prevented Pewaukee, who was in that championship game for a number of years.
Yep, going back to back.
Yeah.
So
in the Division 3 championship, how about top-seeded St. Thomas More downing Lakeside Lutheran, 65-54 in that one?
Yeah, I thought, I seen St. Thomas More play a little bit Thursday night, and I thought they were the class of D3, no doubt about it. Lakeside gave them a good game, but St. Thomas More very athletic and took it to them pretty good.
Another first-time winner there for St. Thomas More.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
but I guess the best game probably of the whole tournament would have been that championship in Division 4.
Mineral Point over Kenosha St. Joe is 65-64, and that comes to Mineral Point comes back after making a huge comeback right at the end against Aquinas on Thursday night and getting into that championship game. But kudos to them, 65-64 over a very good Kenosha St. Joe's team who really did a job on Marathon in the semifinals. They held Warren to 9 points, and they really took it to Marathon. Marathon did not shoot at all very well, and they really covered their shooters up and still did a good job on Warren. I believe they held him to 9 points.
And in that championship game, Mineral Point actually trailed by 10 with about 30 seconds left.
Yeah, they were just the team of the comebacks in this tournament. So
that was their first state championship,
which is surprising to me.
Yeah,
but good for them, and it was just a great tournament. I enjoyed watching it, and it really showed Wisconsin basketball is really come along very well over the years. So,
and Logan Barr, the guy we saw from Luther, won the 3-point challenge.
Not a surprise. He shot 50% on the season. So but he made 19 3-pointers in round 3 to take it. So good for him.
You bet. All right, so that wraps up the winter sports season. And now
here we go. And actually, the spring started last night, or they started already because the track. Actually, Tuesday night the track team was up at UW Stout, but they had their own Nielsville Invitational last week, and then the softball team got out and played Tuesday night too. It wasn't very nice out, but they did play. So
well, I think we got all our nice weather. Unfortunately, when everybody was inside,
I said we had our 10U kids out on the JV softball field. It just wasn't very nice up there. It bothered me probably more than the kids did. So.
Marshfield also had a boys indoor meet on Tuesday night. Marshfield actually ended up winning that meet, and they had 5 events that they won in that meet as well. We said wrapping up, but there are some wrestling tournaments that are still going on. In fact, the NCAA championship is coming up this weekend.
Well, let's first talk about last weekend's D3 tournament down in La Crosse. And the Marshfield boys did very well down there. At 157, Nolan Hurdle, his second consecutive national championship for UW La Crosse. And, of course, Nolan, like I said, graduate of Marshfield High School. Another Marshfield grad, Bentley Schwannebeck Osterman, first at 184. Bentley is wrestling for Augsburg University. And one other guy I want to mention, Derek. I'm Derek. I'm ahead of myself.
Yes,
Larry. At 174, Jared Strickard, and Jared is an Ashland grad. He was the first, he wrestles now for UW Eau Claire, first Eau Claire champ since Derek Sikora in 2006.
Derek, he was the first at 165 back in 2006, but now Jared, the second guy at Eau Claire.
Yep. Augsburg won the team title, and that's
no surprise
back-to-back. And then La Crosse third, Eau Claire fifth. So doing very well, both of them. So
all right, so that was the NCAA Division III championships. And now the NCAA Division I championships are this weekend in Kansas
City. And we have 3 local guys going to be down there, Larry.
Okay.
Let's start at 165. Blaine Brenner from Stanley Boyd, now wrestling for the University of Minnesota. Blaine 19-12 on the year, received an at-large bid, and his first match will be against Mike Caliendo from 22-4 from Iowa, who's the number 6 seed. And I just want to throw one thing out about this 165-pound bracket, Larry. The number 1 seeded wrestler is Keegan O'Toole from Missouri. The number 2 seeded wrestler is Mitchell Messenbrink from Penn State. The number 22 seeded wrestler is Noah Mulvaney from Bucknell. Why I bring this up? All 3 of them are graduates of Arrowhead High School.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So O'Toole was a 4-time state champion, graduated in 2020. Mitchell Messenbrink, a 3-time state champion, graduated in 2022. And Noah Mulvaney was a 2023 graduate and a state champion senior year. So it really says something about Arrowhead. And,
I guess.
And, of course, these guys are we're all a big part of Askren Wrestling, too. So,
all right.
Onward to our 197, and we have 2 local boys there. Stephen Buchanan, 24-2 from Oklahoma. And, of course, Stephen wrestled for NGL. His first match is against number 25 seeded Benjamin Smith, who's 23-5. Benjamin from Cleveland State, originally from Hortonville. And then number 30 seeded Sam Mitchell, wrestling for Buffalo. Sam from Marshfield Senior High, 23-6 on the year. His first match is against Tanner Sloan from South Dakota State. And I'll tell you what, Larry, you talk about 2 guys entwined, Sam Mitchell and Stephen Buchanan. In 2019, Sam was the Division I state champion from Marshfield. Stephen was in his second state championship from NGL that year.
Yeah.
Sam had 1 loss that year, and it was to Stephen Buchanan at the Sparta tournament. So they've been around the laps a few times. But anyway, that tournament is down in Kansas City. So
any chance they would meet up, or
yeah, it's a possibility, I guess. So
all right.
I think they've both had some injury problems. Stephen definitely has had some injury problems this year, and that for the 8th seed. But he's such a tough individual. You never know. And Sam Mitchell, very good wrestler too. So
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that would be kind of neat that they'd match up down there. So,
Yeah. Hopefully, Steven can keep it going there.
Yep.
I know his mom said that his knee has been bothering
Yeah,
him.
and it was very tough on him at the Big 12 tournament.
Yeah.
So but he gutted it through, got a third place, qualified, and we'll see what happens out there. So,
all right. So that's happening in Kansas City, the Division I Wrestling Championships. Before we get into our brackets, how about if we do our Where Are They Now? I know we didn't have a time to do it last week,
we'll
but
do this young lady in now.
All right, get her in.
And we have Mary Sigler, a 2014 graduate of Wisconsin Rapids Assumption High School. Mary was a 4-year letter winner on the Royal basketball team. Her freshman year, Assumption was 13-11, losing in the regional finals to Wausau Newman. Mary averaged 11.6 points per game. Her sophomore year, the Royals were 23-3 on the season. They were regional champions, losing in the sectional semis to Wausau Newman. Mary averaged 14.4 points per game and was a first-team all-conference choice in the Marywood South. Her junior year, the Royals were 28-1. They were Marywood South regional and sectional champions, qualifying for the WI Division V state tournament, where they would defeat Wausau Newman 60-37 in the semifinals. Mary led Assumption with 17 points and 11 rebounds. In the final, they defeated Barneveld 39-35 to win the championship. Mary had 9 points and 5 rebounds. On the season, she averaged 17.1 points and 4 rebounds per game. She was first-team Marywood South All-Conference and Conference Player of the Year. And she was also named to the Channel 7 All-Star team and was an honorable mention All-State team. Her senior year, Assumption was 26-3 on the year. They were Marywood South regional and sectional champs, qualifying for the WI Division V state tournament, where they would defeat Heritage Christian 61-41 in the semifinals. Mary had 8 points and 3 rebounds in that game, and in the finals they would lose to Barneveld 38-34. Mary had 10 points and 2 rebounds. For the season, she averaged 11.3 points per game. She was first-team All-Conference and Conference Player of the Year. She was a Channel 7 All-Star and honorable mention All-State, and was named to the Wisconsin Basketball Coaches Association All-Star Game that year. In the spring, Mary was a 4-year letter winner on the Assumption girls soccer team. Her freshman year, Assumption was 15-4-1. They were sectional champions, qualifying for the WI D3 state tournament, where they would defeat New Holstein 1-0 in the semifinals before losing to Kettle Moraine 1-0 in the finals. Mary had 10 goals and 16 assists for 36 points on the season. Her sophomore year, the Royals were 15-3. They were regional champs, losing in the sectional semis to St. Mary's 3-1. Mary had 15 goals and 17 assists for 47 points on the season. Her junior year, the Royals were 15-1 on the season. They were regional champs, losing in the sectional semis to St. Mary's 4-3. Mary had 43 goals and 11 assists for 97 points, and she was named second-team All-State on the season. Her senior year, the Royals were 23-1. They were regional and sectional champions, qualifying for the WI Division IV state tournament, where they would defeat Lake County Lutheran in the semis before defeating New Holstein 2-1 to win the title. Mary assisted on the Royals' first goal before scoring the winning goal late in the game. On the season, Mary had 38 goals and 14 assists for 90 points and was named second-team All-State on the season. After graduation, Mary accepted a scholarship to play basketball at Regis College in Denver, Colorado. Her freshman year, the Rangers were 16-11. Mary averaged 2.5 points per game and 2 rebounds. Her sophomore year, Regis was 18-11. Mary averaged 5.7 points and 4 rebounds, and she was 17 for 44 on three-pointers that year. Her junior year, the Rangers were 23-8, qualifying for the NCAA Division II tournament, where they lost in the first round to West Texas A&M. Mary averaged 13.3 points and 4.1 rebounds and was 72 out of 204 on three-pointers that year for 35.3%. Her senior year, the Rangers were 16-13. Mary averaged 12.6 points per game, 4.7 rebounds, and was 49 out of 161 on three-pointers. She was second-team all-conference choice on the Rocky Mountain Athletic all-conference team. and was also a first-team All-District All-Academic. Mary graduated from Regis in 2018 with a bachelor's degree in mathematics and from McDonough School of Business with a master's degree in finance in 2020. Today, Mary is a vice president at Nakusa Port Edward State Bank. Mary Sigler-Bernarski and her husband Andrew reside in the Nakusa area. Mary Ziegler, Larry.
Yeah. Remember that name?
Awesome.
Assumption and Barneveld. Yeah, they had some games back in the day.
Yeah, they just kind of alternated back and forth.
Yeah, it seemed like it. Yeah. All right, so where are they now here? Just one little quick note. We talked about baseball. The WBCA preseason rankings are out. Stevens Point is ranked 8th in Division 1. Also in Division 2, we talked about St. Thomas More in basketball, and they're ranked number 1 in that poll in baseball.
Yeah, Altoona ranked number 7th, and Abby Colby 21st.
Yeah. So, all right, and then Division 3, Aquinas. There's another team from basketball ranked number 1. Marathon 7th.
Speaking of basketball.
Yes. Stratford 10th. And you got Neillsville ranked 18th.
Yep.
In the poll.
19th. So, and then nice representation in D4 also. With Aleva Strum at number 1 there. Edgar 8th. Pacelli 9th. Columbus Catholic, who we expect to be a prime contender in the Clover Belt East, is 10th. Pittsville 11th. Always a strong program down there. And then Rib Lake, 19th, another strong program all the time up there. So
looking forward to the baseball season.
Yeah, hopefully to warmer days.
Yes, hopefully with snow here, it'd be nice to have some warmer days in baseball. They'll get started baseball pretty much in earnest after Easter.
Yeah, absolutely.
The week after Easter.
Yeah, and there's no school in Neillsville next week. So,
no.
That takes care of
Yeah, there's a number of
things,
schools that are taking off next week.
Spring break.
Yes. All right, here we go. We got the bracket to take care of here as March Madness begins. By the way, residents in Arizona, Utah, and Nebraska are the most obsessed with March Madness.
Okay.
And 1 in 5 Americans make a bracket every year.
Yeah, I can see Arizona. So.
Yeah, especially with Phoenix being the Final Four destination this year.
Absolutely. So.
All right, we'll get through these as quick as we can here. First round, we'll go in the East region. I've got UConn, FAU, San Diego State, Auburn, BYU, Illinois, Washington State, and Iowa State.
Okay. I went with UConn, and I went with Northwestern to pull the 9-8 upset.
Okay.
And I am going with UAB to pull the 12-5.
All right.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
And then I have Auburn over Yale in the 4-13 game, BYU over Duquesne, and then Illinois over the 14th seed, Washington State over Drake, and Iowa State over South Dakota State. So.
All right. In the West region, I've got the winners being North Carolina, Mississippi State, St. Mary's, Alabama, New Mexico, Baylor, Nevada, and Arizona.
Yeah, I have North Carolina. I did go with Michigan State over Mississippi State.
Okay.
And then St. Mary's, Alabama, New Mexico to pull the 11-6 upset, Baylor, and then Nevada to pull the 10-7 over Dayton, and then finish it out with Arizona there.
All right. In the South region, first-round winners, I have Houston, Texas A&M, Wisconsin, Duke, NC State, Kentucky, Florida, and Marquette.
Okay, I am going with Houston. I am going to go with Nebraska to beat Texas A&M. I thought long and hard about this one, Larry, but I am going to go with the Badgers over James Madison. I thought long and hard about that one.
There are a lot of people that are picking that 12-5 there.
Yeah, James Madison 31-3, so interesting. Then I have Duke over Vermont, North Carolina State to pull 11-6 upset over Texas Tech, Kentucky, Florida, and then Marquette to beat Western Kentucky. So.
All right. Midwest region, first round, I've got Purdue, Utah State, Gonzaga, Samford, Oregon, Creighton, Texas, and Tennessee.
Yeah, I am going with Purdue, and then I am going with TCU over Utah State.
Okay.
Gonzaga. I'm going with Kansas over Samford. I am taking Oregon at the 11-6 game.
Okay.
And then Creighton, Texas, and Tennessee. I thought awful hard about that Colorado State game. They beat UVA tremendously the other night. I thought hard about that, but I'm going to go with the Longhorns in that. And then I finish out with Tennessee over St. Peter's. So.
All right, back to the East region. In the Sweet 16, I'll have UConn, Auburn, Illinois, and Iowa State.
Yeah, I have the same there.
Okay.
Yep.
In the West, Sweet 16, part of the Sweet 16, North Carolina, St. Mary's, Baylor, and Arizona.
Okay, I'm going to go with Alabama instead of St. Mary's. But
I'm going way out of the limb.
Yeah, that's a limmer there.
In the South, for part of the Sweet 16, I've got Houston, Duke, NC State, and Marquette.
Okay, I am going to go with Houston, Duke, Kentucky, and I am going to go with Florida.
Oh, okay.
Over Marquette.
All right. And the Midwest, part of the Sweet 16 there will be Purdue. I got Samford coming that far.
Okay.
Creighton and Tennessee.
Okay, I have Purdue and Gonzaga.
Okay.
And then Creighton and Tennessee. So.
All right. The Elite Eight in the East. Part of the Elite Eight will be UConn and Iowa State.
Okay, I am going with Illinois over Iowa State.
Okay.
So.
In the West, North Carolina and Baylor.
Okay, I am going with Arizona over Baylor.
All right. In the South, it'll be Houston and Marquette making it to the Elite
I have Houston and Kentucky
right.
out of there.
And Purdue and Creighton in the Midwest.
Okay, I'm going out with Purdue and Tennessee. So.
Okay. We'll see who's right.
Yeah, this.
And then for the Final Four, I'm going to go through the whole Final Four here. I've got UConn taking on North Carolina, and Marquette takes on Creighton.
Okay, I have UConn taking on Arizona, and I have Kentucky taking on Tennessee.
Okay, wow, we're vastly different.
We
vastly
really
different.
we don't like number one seeds too much either.
Yeah, except UConn.
Yeah, the whole world has UConn.
Yeah, UConn. And, well, I'm part of the whole world because I'm taking UConn over Marquette in the championship.
Okay, I am taking Kentucky over UConn.
All right.
In the championship. And that part of that comes from Hayden Paschal.
Okay.
Helping.
All right.
I asked his suggestion, and he let me know. So
He said Kentucky.
yeah.
All right, well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So.
But, yeah, you look at these brackets, and I know there are some experts that thought the Big East might have gotten a little bit of the low end of the
yeah,
stick.
maybe.
Only
but
3 teams in the big
yeah,
in the dance.
I don't know. It's hard to say. It's you don't see some of them there, but I don't know. They're not. It's not the Big East. Your father's Big East anymore.
No, you're right. You know, the Georgetown
UConn has been a standout. Georgetown has been irrelevant.
St. John's.
yeah.
Well, some thought St. John's should have got in.
St. John's was on the fence. And that's probably where one of the first arguments came for. And for good reason, but all in all, I don't think you can argue with this bracket. So
I don't know all that much. Follow it that close
I
to
didn't
know.
follow it that close this year, Larry. And when the day they picked the bracket, I didn't listen to the people talking about it because, quite honestly, it's all
a lot of times.
yeah.
Right.
It's
The big talk was James Madison
okay.
beating Wisconsin.
Yeah, that seems to be the one on everybody's radar.
Yeah.
And I was telling you, I read an article yesterday. Somebody wrote the 12-5 has always been a common upset matchup.
Yep.
And now they're saying the 6-11 is the new 12, is the new 5-12.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know.
Did you? I didn't notice. Did you do a lot of 11s over 6s?
I had a few. Yeah, I did a lot of.
I know you did a lot of 9s over 8s.
Yeah, that's a. You got to do them somewhere. I don't have enough balls to do 413s, so.
Or 116.
I have never did a 413 or higher in my life. So.
No, them are tough to pick.
Yeah,
but you got to do it sometimes.
I said I've had times I wish I would have because you should go with your first instinct, and I didn't. I went with something else, but.
I did take a 13, Samford getting to the Sweet 16.
Okay. Yeah, I thought long and hard about Wisconsin, but to me the telling point there, Larry, was how well Wisconsin played in the Big Ten championship.
Yeah.
And they've got, McGee is back, and they've got everybody back now and fairly healthy.
Yeah.
And, they could be tough. If they get through James Madison, they should have a heck of a game against Duke as far as I'm concerned. So,
And Wisconsin, they have that way of playing that other teams aren't used to.
Right. And again, to me, I've always said this, Wisconsin is more like a mid-major than a big college because they have most of their guys go to college 4 years.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's been a few, Johnny Davis, a few others, but for the most part, they've put a lot of not this year, but they have juniors and seniors. They have one senior this year, but a lot of juniors. So.
And one thing they're kind of getting into is the transfer portal.
Yeah, you bet.
I mean, guys like A.J. Storr coming in.
Very athletic. And this, to me, Larry, this team this year is more athletic than the team that went to the final, 14 and 15.
Yeah.
That was a big man's game. There.
Yeah, right.
So
yeah.
This team is much more athletic.
Yeah, just see if they can keep their heads in the game.
Yeah, I said, they got to be able to shoot, but Storr, and it seems to be on his game. Chucky Hepburn played probably as well as he's played in a long time in the Big Ten tournament, I thought. So
yeah, who's the one guy, the big guy?
Kroll?
Not Kroll, the other guy.
Oh,
he was the guy that he's got to get his game back.
Yeah.
Number 5.
Yeah, he fouled out against Illinois.
Yeah, he's the guy that's got to come back.
Yeah.
A little bit.
And he's their senior too.
Tournament. Yeah, right.
So
he's the guy that's got to come through.
Right. So, but this should be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I know. Every now and then you got to throw an upset in there.
Absolutely. I said,
and just see what happens. It'd be interesting to see if Arizona can make it all the way to Phoenix.
I think that
playing almost their home court.
I'll tell you what. Baylor's playing well. Alabama's playing well. North Carolina's playing well. They do have obstacles getting to Phoenix. So
yeah.
I did pick them to get there, but North Carolina played very well. And that's another team to keep an eye on too. Speaking of North Carolina State won the ACT tournament. That's why I picked them at 11-6. They're a hot team now too.
I got them getting into the Sweet 16.
Okay,
we'll see what happens there. But
I that's where my Kentucky pick got in the way there.
What do you think about Purdue? I mean, they're a number 1 seed. But I tell you, Wisconsin was able to beat them in overtime.
I don't think they're athletic enough, quite honestly. The big guy, he's pretty stiff and everything. I mean, they could. There's no ifs, ands, or what. I've got them going to the Elite Eight.
Yeah, I do too.
But I don't think they're athletic enough to beat Tennessee.
Okay.
So I don't know. So.
Everybody's got UConn.
The whole world. Yeah. The whole world. That's why you got to pick somebody else to win it.
Actually, UConn and Duke are America's top picks.
Yeah, and Duke is just a tradition, I think, more than anything.
Yeah.
And you could say that too about Kentucky and North Carolina too.
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah. North Carolina though has got a pretty good team this year. I think
you bet.
They're up and coming.
And so does Kentucky, and they will be all tough. Illinois is playing very well.
I was just going to say, what do you think about Illinois?
That will be an interesting Elite Eight, Illinois and UConn. I think that would be a very good matchup. So
before that, we got Illinois and Iowa State. That could be
that's true too.
Good one too.
Good matchup there. Yeah, there's a young man from Marquette. Pewaukee plays for Iowa State.
I'm not going to try and pronounce his name.
His brother was playing this year.
Yes, he was. Yes.
Mr. M will call
Milanovic.
No, it's Milanovic or something
like that. Yeah.
Milan and Luke was playing this year.
Yeah.
So Luke not as good as Milan though. So.
All right. So that's the NCAA. Quickly here before we end the program, the Brewers get their season started next Thursday. Yeah. Freddie Peralta will start for the Brewers.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting what they do for closers because Devin Williams looks like he could be out 3 months. Excuse me. I think you're going to see probably a closer by committee, Larry.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see guys like Pyamps, Trevor McGill, guys like that. Maybe Abner. I think the hot guy is going to get the ball. I think so.
Yeah. We'll see if Coach Pat Murphy runs it kind of like Council did. We'll see what happens.
It'll be more interesting. We'll see. We'll see how Council does down in Chicago too.
Yeah, you're right. So opening day next Thursday in New York against the Mets. Jose Quintana will get the start for the Mets.
Interesting start.
Yeah,
pick there, but they traded away a lot of pitching last year.
They
traded. They kind of shot her down at the deadline. So, and then next Tuesday, I believe the Brewers come home and open against the Minnesota Twins at home. April 2nd.
Yeah.
So.
All right, there it is. We're getting into the spring season.
Yep. But now we just need the warm weather to come with us, Larry.
Yes. Get rid of the snow.
Yes, please.
All right. That'll do it for Two Guys on Sports for this week. I'm Larry Hazer.
I'm Dick Olson.
We'll talk to you again next week.